Okay, we're back working on this 2012 Dodge Durango and doing some diagnostics on it. And going to be checking the exhaust here and the catalytic converter in particular to see if we've got any kind of blockage in there. Getting a lot of codes. I'll show you those in just a second. I'll show you what tool I'm going to be using here, how we're going to go about this, and just kind of walk you through it. So if you suspect that you have a blocked exhaust or catalytic converter, instead of just guessing, going replacing stuff, you definitely want to do some testing on it, whether you get your own tool, which is ideal because for the price of the tool, they're going to charge you that at the muffler shop, and you can get your own, and you'll have the tool the next time that you need to check another vehicle. So let's just take a look at it. We've got a 6-foot hose, and then we got the, of course, that's going to go into where the O2 sensor goes. I don't think I'm going to need a clamp, but I might. But it's barbed, and I think we should be able to just get away with it. We shouldn't be seeing any pressure that's going to blow it off of there, but we'll see what happens. And of course, you've got the range, and it tells you here. So the outer one is basically with it at 2,500 RPM, and this one in the middle here is what it would be at when it's at idle. Now, of course, we're going to have to get this up on ramps and absolutely make sure everything is completely cooled off before we do anything. Alright, so I've got like 15 codes on here. This is what I'm dealing with. The intake air temperature is the only one I'm not certain about. I might have actually had that unplugged and when it was and it threw that code. But we've had a lot of O2 sensor codes. You can see here it'll go from lean to rich, multiple misfires, catalyst efficiency. The main codes I'm seeing seems like it's always on bank 1, and that would be over here on the passenger side when it's actually misfiring. And the spark plugs on that side were all charred, and you could tell they were fouling out over there as well. And the driver's side, they were all clean and looked normal, so definitely got an issue on that bank 1. But see, a lot of to do with the O2 sensors, the catalyst, and I've already tried O2 sensors because I just thought I would go there and no luck. And so basically I've been doing a lot of diagnostics and just some of the things we've checked the compression, leak down. See, we've checked the fuel pressure. Now, I have not actually checked the injectors themselves to see how those are working, but the fuel pressure is good. I may make another video on that, show how I hooked all that up. But so the compression's good. The fuel pressure is good. The spark plugs are new. The coil packs are all good, and so all those things have been ruled out. So one of the things that I wanted to check out is this the back pressure. So that's what we're getting ready to do. So just wanted to show you some of these codes here. Now, one more thing, as far as performance, this vehicle seems to be driving for the most part. It's not too bad. It's when you're stopped and idling, that's when all the problems are coming in. It starts misfiring, and even seen it where the check engine lights started flashing. So and then sometimes it drives perfect and you don't have any misfires and rough idle. So it's definitely kind of something that's intermittent, but it's more so when it's stopped and idling. Alright, so we've got it on ramps. We've had it cooling off for about an hour, so we're going to go ahead and go in here and see if we can't get these upstream sensors out and get our tool in place. So I'm going to be starting over here on the passenger side. This is the side that is given the most trouble. It's where it's got the most misfires at, so I definitely want to start on this side and see what kind of reading I get. Okay, so in order to get to this one up here, I said I've done another video on taking these O2 sensors out, but you got to remove this downstream where you can't get to the one up there. So you're going to need a extended handle ratchet. Is going to be so tight that it's unreal. And the key is when you put these back to never put them as tight as they were, so you can actually get them out again. So this one got loose. We'll go ahead and finish removing this one. And you probably want to unplug your sensor up here. I'm not worried about it at the moment, but it will twist your wire up a little bit. So I'm just going to throw this over here out of the way. And now I can get up here and get to the one that I need to. And I'm going to actually feed this up in here from down here. So I just placed that on there to make it a little easier. And I'm going to have to get, so you could place it on here with this, but it's probably going to try to fall off on you. So again, I'm just going to crack this loose. And I'm using an extended handle, but these aren't, you know, I've had them out already, so they're not just horribly tight. So just watch out when you're moving this, it'll fall down on you. So got that out of the way. Said you can unplug these. I'm not messing with it at the moment. I'm just spinning it out of here. I don't care if the wires twist at this time. Alright, so got that one out, and that's the one that I need to get my tool in. And once I get the tool up here in place, we'll put this one back here in. So we're just going to feed this up in. This got a O-ring to help seal it. This is not going to have to be terribly tight. Now I'm not sure how these O-rings are going to hold up with this heat, but maybe if it's not just in there a long time, it'll be alright. So it'll take me a second to get it started straight. But I think I'm just going to hand tighten it down. I think it with the O-ring, and it should be tight enough without having to put a wrench on it. That's good enough right there. I don't know if you can see that. Move that out of the way, but that's where I've got it. Now we've got to get our hose. Hopefully we got room for all this. Right. Alright, so there I got that pushed on there, no big deal. It's tight enough. We need to go ahead and get this rear sensor back in place. I'm just going to thread that in and snug it just a little bit. It doesn't need a lot. Alright, so that's good enough. Alright, so we're just running the hose down through here. We just want to make sure it stays away from our exhaust. So we've got 6 feet of this. Right, so we're just going to bring it right over here to the side. We should have no problem running it over here and being able to read this from the vehicle. So just to give you a better view, it's just running down through here. We're going to keep it away from the exhaust and just run it right over here. Okay, I determined that wasn't going to give me enough length for this side to go on the other side, so I'm actually going to run it here on the passenger side. I can just look over here. I'll set it up. I'm just running it right over the top of the exhaust, kind of taped it up there to the heat shield, and just coming right under here. I was thinking that 6 feet, I guess it'd be plenty, but you about need like 12 feet to get around here. All right, hopefully this is going to stay put here, and we should know pretty quick what we got once we crank it up here. All right, so let's crank it up and see what it's going to do. Oh, wow. Bouncing around a lot, but it's definitely within the green. Try to give it a little so don't really see a problem here so far. Let's try to give it some throttle. We'll get it up around 2,500 RPM. We'll see what it does. So it's looking good, and you know, this is why you test things before you assume anything and you go to replacing stuff that you don't need to. So I don't think we need to go any further on this side. We'll go ahead and get over on the other side and check it here. Now we're going to have to let this cool down before we can get up here and take this loose again. Okay, I went ahead and removed the tool from this side, and it still is not completely cooled down, but we're getting over here on this side. Now this one, I don't have to remove this down here. Now you'll need an extended ratchet to get to this one up here, but like I said, mine is not terribly tight. So we're going to go ahead and get this one here out, and we'll just do the same thing. So I'm really surprised that this O-ring didn't melt. Alright, so finally got it started there. So I'm just kind of hand snugging these. At least this one over here is not near as hard to get to. Alright, that should be plenty tight enough. Alright, so I'm just going to do something similar what I did on the other side and run it out here. Hopefully that will stay away from the pipe. Alright, we managed to get it mounted down here. Alright, so we're ready to crank it up here. Alright, finally got it cranked up there. Had to hold the throttle down. So far it's looking about the same as the other side. See if it's going to level out here. Give it some throttle here. I'm going to get it up about 2,500 again, see what it's going to do. It's really all over the place. Up there. Alright, well, as far as this back pressure goes, it's looking perfect. I'm not seeing any issues here on either side. You can see, like, it tells you, idle down here, and then if you run at 2,500, then you watch the upper part there. So that's how you would read one of these, and it's pretty easy to rule this out. Alright, so that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to do one on doing this back pressure test, and like I said, last time I got a test done at a muffler shop, I think it was $50, and that's been a while, so I'm sure it's probably more than that by now. So for the price of a trip to the muffler shop to get this checked, you can buy the tool and then you can have it to check it other vehicles, so it's not too hard of a job to do yourself. And this is probably one of the more difficult vehicles to get to the upstream O2 sensor. So like I said, I just wanted to do a video on this, and I'm still doing diagnostics on it, and I'm going to try to hunt down what exactly is going on with this, and then I'll do a video on that as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video and you found this helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. As always, I thank you for watching.